Okay, let's just jump right in. We need to talk about money, but probably not in the way you're used to. Let's forget the budgeting apps for a minute and all that advice about just skipping your daily coffee. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on why it so often feels like you're playing a game that you just can't win.
And I really want this to sink in. If you have ever felt guilty or ashamed about your spending, I want you to just stop. You were never supposed to win this game.
You know that feeling of constantly struggling, of always being one step behind? That's not a bug. It's a feature. The system isn't broken at all. It's an incredibly sophisticated machine that is working exactly as it was designed to. And its main job is to systematically extract money from people just like you and me.
So, how does this machine actually work? Well, that's what we're here to figure out. We're going to investigate its design by looking at the evidence, 5 hidden and very deliberate financial traps.
The sheer scale of this is, honestly, it's hard to wrap your head around. Let's start with trap number 1, the credit card. This number right here, this is how much money Americans paid in credit card interest alone in 2024. That isn't money paying down what you owe. It's just the fee for borrowing. $160 billion.
So how on earth do they get to a number that big? It's through this little masterpiece of financial engineering called the minimum payment. Just look at this typical example. You've got a $5,000 balance. If you only pay that little minimum amount, it'll take you over 27 years to pay it off. And in the end, you'll have paid almost 10 grand in interest on that original $5,000. It's insane.
So you have to ask yourself, why? Why is the minimum payment so ridiculously low? I mean, if the goal was to actually help you pay off your debt, they'd make it higher. But the low number isn't there to help you, it's there to keep you in debt. And this whole design principle, making something super easy to get into but a nightmare to get out of, well, that's our second trap.
Welcome to what designers literally call the Roach Motel. You know, an interface that's incredibly easy to check into, but almost impossible to check out of. Think about it, signing up for Amazon Prime, a gym, pretty much any subscription service. It's like 2 clicks, maybe a sneaky pre-checked box, and you're in. But canceling? Whoa. Suddenly you're lost in this maze of menus, clicking through warnings about all the amazing benefits you're about to lose, and sometimes you still have to call a number and wait on hold.
And let's be crystal clear about this. This is not an accident. It's not just some clumsy design. It is a calculated, deliberate strategy. They're literally betting that you'll get frustrated, that you'll get confused, and that you will just give up and let them keep charging you.
Okay, on to trap number 3. This one's happening all around you in real time, and you probably don't even realize it. It's called dynamic pricing, and it's a perfect example of how technology is being used to fine-tune this whole extraction process. Basically, it's showing different prices to different people for the exact same item, all based on what some algorithm thinks you're willing to pay.
You see this everywhere. Airlines do it, right? They know a business traveler's booking last minute, so bam, the price skyrockets. Uber's surge pricing hits you right when you need a ride the most. Amazon reportedly changes prices on things as often as every 10 minutes. Hotel websites have even been caught showing you a higher price just because you're searching on a Mac instead of a PC.
Now for trap 4, the overdraft fee. For years, the banking industry perfected this nasty little trick called transaction reordering. So look at this. You've got $50 in your account. You buy a $5 coffee, then a $10 lunch, then make a $60 purchase. Logically, you should only get one overdraft fee, right? Wrong. The bank processes your largest charge first. That $60 immediately sends you into the red. And then your small coffee and lunch purchases each trigger their own separate $35 fee. And just like that, one little mistake is engineered to become over $100 in penalties.
And who gets hit by this? Not everyone, not even close. This chart shows the brutal reality. A tiny fraction of customers, less than 9% of accounts, are paying nearly 80% of all overdraft fees. The entire business model is built on a small group of people who are already financially vulnerable.
And that brings us to our 5th and final trap, one of the newest and most popular kids on the block. Buy now, pay later. Services like Afterpay and Klarna are not just some convenient new way to pay. Nope. They are a perfectly monetized weapon aimed directly at a specific flaw in our brains, our burning desire to have things now and worry about paying for them later.
These services make an expensive purchase feel cheap by breaking it into 4 easy payments. And the data shows exactly who this model is built for. Users are way more likely to have lower credit scores, to be younger, and to have a recent history of missing payments. It's designed from the ground up to appeal to those who are already on the financial edge. So we've seen the traps.
But now we get to the most important part. Why do they work so incredibly well? This isn't just companies being clever. This is applied behavioral science. These products are designed by PhDs who know exactly how our brains fail when it comes to money.
It all starts with this thing called present bias. You see, our brains are hardwired to want good things now and to push bad things into the future. That immediate hit of dopamine feels so much more real and important than some consequence way down the road.
This right here, this is the engine that powers both credit card debt and buy now, pay later. They make the pleasure of the purchase immediate and real, while making the pain of the future payments feel totally abstract and unreal. They have weaponized our own impatience against us.
Next up, we've got a cognitive shortcut called anchoring. Our brains are kind of lazy. When we see a number, any number, we tend to latch onto it and use it as a reference point for every decision that follows, whether it's actually relevant or not. So that minimum payment due on your credit card statement, that's not a helpful suggestion. It is a very deliberately placed psychological anchor. By showing you that low number, they make it seem normal, acceptable, and they powerfully discourage you from paying more, which is the one thing that would actually help you get out of debt.
And finally, there's the knockout punch, loss aversion. There's actual Nobel Prize-winning research that discovered, for our brains, the pain of losing something is about twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining that exact same thing. We are wired to avoid losses at all costs.
And that is exactly why it's so hard to cancel a service. They don't just ask, "Are you sure?" No, they show you this itemized list of every single benefit you are about to lose. The free shipping, the exclusive shows, the special deals. They are triggering your loss aversion to manipulate you into staying put.
Okay, I know that's a lot, and it's easy to feel kind of powerless. It feels like the game is rigged. And you know what? In a lot of ways it is. But knowing the rules of the game is the very first step toward winning it. So let's get to the counterplan. Here's how you fight back.
You can absolutely defend yourself. Here are 3 simple but incredibly powerful strategies you can use today. 1. Ignore the anchor. Always pay more than the minimum on your credit card. The numbers don't lie. It can save you thousands of dollars and literally decades of your life. 2. Audit your subscriptions. Go through your bank statement right now and cancel anything you haven't used in a month. And 3. By law, you can opt out of overdraft protection. Your card will just get declined. It's a second of inconvenience that saves you a $35 fee.
So here's the bottom line. The system is not neutral. It has been built using decades of psychological research to take your money. But now you see the design. You know their playbook. The system is designed for you to lose. The only question left is, now that you know the rules, how are you going to choose to play the game?